Today's episode of The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown is brought to you by Jeanette McKenzie, Realtor at Forest Hill Signature, and Jewelry Forever at jewelryforever.ca. Enjoy the show.
Broadcasting live from Glenmore Record Studios in Toronto, this is The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown, your Sunday morning talk show with interesting guests, live musical performances, and the most fun you can fit in your coffee cup. Hosted by Scott Dion Brown and Regine Alaina, this is The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown.
That was for you, Thomas. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to episode 177 of The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown. I am your host, the one, the only, Scott Dion Brown, and I am joined by the greatest co-host in all the galaxy, the one, the only,
Regine Alaina. Happy Sunday, everyone. It's a great Sunday because the Raptors are back in the finals.
The Raptors are, well, in the playoffs, right? It's like
same thing.
Yeah, I guess. Well, Raptors are in round one, although they are in some trouble. They're down 3-1.
Yeah. This hat is bothering me. They are. It was really scary watching the last couple of games, especially like the first two games. Like, oh my God, what's happening? And then yesterday's game, it was just like, okay, we got this. I couldn't even watch yesterday's game.
Yeah, I couldn't. I wasn't able to see it, but I heard that I watched a little bit of it, like the highlights and stuff. So they did manage to finally sort of solve, what is it, Embiid is his name? They managed to figure him out. So I'm hoping, well, because now it's do or die, right? If they lose one more, it's over.
Mm-hmm. Well, like game 3 was intense. Like they were in the lead for the longest time, and then they just pulled the Raptors. No, they pulled a Toronto. How about that? They pulled a Toronto.
You say pull the Leafs. Yeah. Leafs are pretty known for not doing so well in the first round of playoffs here, not being able to get out of it. But, well, here we go. Anyway, yeah, so Regine, I'm wearing my Raptors hat.
Go Raptors. They're playing again tomorrow, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Monday night. I added my Raptors championship hat to the football in the back. And also I added the football in the back. So you'll notice, guys, I added a little shelf here. Huh? It's looking good. Miniature improvements to things. So that's something good.
Here's what worries me is that you're putting so much effort into your home studio. What about the actual studio?
It's coming. It's coming. I think we're getting close to being back in studio at the in person again. And I guess what am I going to do? Am I going to bring my football back? Because my football used to be in the background of that studio, right?
It literally was like the centerpiece of the studio.
We'll see.
Or you just get two.
Know.
You just get 2 footballs.
I could get 2 footballs. We'll see.
I mean, everything that you have. 2 posters.
Yeah, so it's like, so it's an exact clone of the background, so it never changed. 2 Baby Yodas, 2 Mega Men.
2 mushrooms.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll figure it out. Oh, Thomas plays flag football. That's fun.
Nice.
Cool. Oh, Jellyfish is here too. Hi. How is everyone doing? Jellyfish, I'm doing very well. Regine, how are you doing? How was your week?
I'm good. My birthday week has officially begun, so you know all is good in the world. At least my world.
Yes. Happy. When's your? It's not your actual birthday yet. Or is it?
No, it's on Saturday. Next Saturday. I'll see you on my actual birthday.
I see. But you're counting the birthday week because it's the week of your...
Mm-hmm. And I got some special mail yesterday. Sarah Edmond sent me some beautiful Disney earrings for my birthday. So like, it has officially begun, guys.
Oh, that's very nice. Shout out to you, Sarah. That's nice. Nice gift. Well, Regine, I think we've already started the show, but we have lots to talk about this week. Okay, there are a bunch of things. A lot of things happened during the week. And first thing I wanted to talk about, because I saw it. So last week when we had Lonnie Bree on, right? Somebody in the chat, because we talked briefly about how I wanted to see the Batman, and somebody in the chat was like, "Oh, I think rumor has it it's coming up for streaming tomorrow." And this was like a week ago, right? And so I got all excited and I checked, and it did come out, but I heard I thought it was supposed to be on Crave, which I have, so I can watch. Crave is like a streaming service in Canada through like, TV providers, right? And I went on to Crave, and it wasn't there. And at this time, it was like, I think it was like 4 o'clock or something when we were going to watch the movie. Like, basically, like, my girlfriend finished work. It's like, okay, let's watch the Batman. And I go on, and I check, and it's not there. I was like, oh, what the heck? So then I searched for it on YouTube Movies, and it was there to purchase or rent. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess it just meant like, I guess when he said it was going to be available, they just mean like, oh, it's available to rent now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, you know what? I want this movie. I feel like it's going to be good. The reviews have been good. I feel like I'm going to like it. I'm just going to buy this movie. And so we start watching it around like 4 o'clock or whatever. An hour into the movie, I get a notification on my Crave app. The Batman is now available for streaming on Crave. And for free.
No.
Yeah. So,
I was gonna say, I know it was on whoever mentioned it, I forgot who it was. It was on Amazon.
Yeah.
And then we checked Amazon yesterday, actually, and it was only for like rental. But if it's on Prime for free, then sucks to be you, Scott.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, so I own the Batman now. I have it. I own it on my YouTube Movies, and I'm gonna give my brief review. So you haven't seen it, right, Regine? You're not that into, like, you said beforehand you've seen some of the Marvel movies, but you wouldn't say you're like a big Marvel fan. It's just those are the ones you've seen.
Well, I've never okay. So out of the DC realm, and I don't even know if these are all DC. So I've watched Wonder Woman's DC, right?
Yep.
I watched Wonder Woman. I've watched. Would Halle Berry's Catwoman be considered DC?
Yes, although I haven't seen that movie, and I heard it was.
Okay, so I've seen
horrible.
that one.
Was
But that was
it
the only one
good?
I watched. So like, how am I supposed to compare it to anything?
Did you
I
like it?
I don't remember. I watched so long ago.
Oh yeah, okay.
I watched. Is Aquaman part of the DC?
Yes.
Okay, so I watched 3.
All right. Did you like Aquaman?
I don't remember. Probably because I remembered that I watched.
I actually can't remember that much about it either, but I do remember liking it. I mean, the thing about Jason Momoa as Aquaman is that
He is
before, before they made him Aquaman was kind of thought of as a kind of a nerdy superhero. Like, I think he wasn't considered really cool. I mean, I'm sure there are Aquaman fans, but I don't think he wasn't in the forefront of like superhero pop culture at the time. And Jason Momoa kind of managed to turn him into this really,
Hunk.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah.
You know what I think of when I think of Aquaman? Did you ever watch SpongeBob?
I actually haven't watched SpongeBob.
Oh no. Okay, tell the viewers, maybe you all have watched SpongeBob. There's like this character who is like this beat up like superhero. I picture him as Aquaman.
So there you go.
Yeah.
But I guess he's been what's the word? Not the word I'm looking for, but reinvigorated or whatever by Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
So
Upgrade.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. But anyway, the Batman. So I watched the Batman. I own it. And so Jellyfish says I saw it in cinemas and it was amazing. I agree. In fact, so up until now, my favorite superhero movies ever were the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy. Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises. Those 3. Christopher Nolan also happens to be my favorite filmmaker. So just, yeah, the thing I love about those films is like I don't know. They don't even really feel like superhero films. They just feel like amazing movies. Anyways, I could talk about Christopher Nolan for a long time. But I will say, and I'm amazed to myself to say this, but I think this Batman is my new favorite
Oh.
Batman. Yeah.
So would you recommend that I watch it?
I mean, I would recommend everybody to watch it, but the thing about it though, what I will say is, although this is true of even, I've seen people on Twitter, for example, talking about the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy,
Mm-hmm.
talking about how, oh yeah, it's okay, but he really lost it in the third movie. And I hear that and I'm like, I feel like the third movie is like the best movie.
Oh no.
You know? And so, I mean, obviously Dark Knight with, the Joker was so iconic with, who played the Joker in the Dark Knight, the famous one? You probably know the actor, even if he died. And then...
I know who you're talking about, I just don't know his name.
Yeah, well, I can't remember. What the
Google
heck was
it.
his name?
Our viewers, come on. Who was it?
Who was it?
Fill in the blanks.
He was like the most iconic version of the Joker. The heck's his name? Heath Ledger. There you go.
Mhm.
So obviously his character was so good, and I remember even when I was watching it in theaters, it was like, I remember I was scared of him all the time. Like even though he wasn't on screen, I knew he was out there planning something, and that made everything that was happening scary. Like he had this presence through the whole movie. But I still love The Dark Knight Rises. It just, for me, that felt, again, it was more than a superhero movie. It felt like, what would a revolution look like if it actually happened in real life? And it just, I don't know. Anyways, really liked it. So for me to now look at this new Batman and be like, yeah, I think this is the best one is, a big deal for me. But I think it is. You know what? One thing that I like about it is that it's completely different. It's a totally new version of how they've done it. Like Batman now is like, they focused on how he's a detective more, because they always say Batman is like the best detective. He's the ultimate detective. That's one thing they say about him. And this one is almost like I don't know, are you familiar with like film noir, Regine, that type of genre? It's like the classic, like the detective, he has to solve the crime, and then there's like the femme fatale, and like there's usually like the detective is usually like narrating. He's like, I didn't know what I would see that night, but when I came in, you know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah.
This movie is kind of one of those. Like Batman is actually the narrator of the movie. Like you hear his voice, and it's so gritty, and they really took like a different take on it. Like, so this one, they set it up. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I'll give a little bit of like how it starts. Like it's like Batman. So they don't start from his origin. They start where he's kind of, at this point, he's been Batman for 2 years. So he's not been Batman for very long. So he's quite young. And so the police don't really know what to make of him, because like he's helping him, but he's a vigilante. And so a lot of the police don't trust him. They don't like him. And it's just cool. There's just a whole bunch of layers to it in that way. And are you a Robert Pattinson fan?
No.
Really?
I didn't watch Twilight.
Oh, really? I like
Sorry.
our Pats. I've liked him in everything. So I liked
I
him in
don't think
Twilight.
I've ever watched him in anything, so I can't
No.
be like, yeah.
Well, I liked him in Twilight. I will say, I wanted to emulate his hair in Twilight. I wanted Edward Cullen hair. Yeah. And then obviously Tenet, again, it's Christopher Nolan film, my favorite director. I thought he was amazing in that. And I think he was a great Batman. Was he the best Batman?
I wouldn't know. Honestly, the only Batman I've ever watched was Lego Batman.
That's a good Batman.
That's
Lego
the
Batman's
only
a good
one I
Batman.
watched.
Hey, Keshav Dev is now following. Hello. Thank you. Welcome to
Hello.
the channel. Welcome. We're just talking about the new Batman. So anyway, I don't want to talk about it at length, especially Regina, you haven't seen it, so you're not able to
Just
give too much input.
Sure.
Yeah. But all I'll say is I really liked it.
Mhm.
I think I think the casting overall is great. I thought Catwoman is perfectly cast. Gordon is perfectly cast. The Riddler's perfectly cast. I mean, it's just everyone's great, and the visual effects are really good. Oh, the other thing I will say about it is that the action sequences are really, really cool. Hey, the Riddler's here. Hey, Riddler, we're talking about you. Great. Hello there, little boys and little girls. Okay, that's a little creepy, but hello, the Riddler. Welcome to the stream. I was going to say about action scenes. I think it's really hard to make an action movie today because we've seen so much, right? Like, it's so hard to create something that people haven't seen before. Like, I find me with a lot of the Marvel movies, I find the action sequences to be a little bit boring. Like, a lot of them are very just like, it feels like they're just going through the motions. Like, there's a big fight. There aren't any real stakes. You know that the hero's going to win. You know what I mean? But this movie, they really did some cool things with light and just how they shot it. It feels... it felt more real, but also more like... it was the first time I've watched an action movie in a while where I was actually, like, impressed by the things that were happening on screen, like the action parts. Like, there's one fight, for example, where he's fighting and it's pitch black. It's completely dark, and the only light is when somebody fires a gun. So it's like it keeps going black, and then you see like somebody firing the gun, and then you see light, and he's punching, and then it goes black. You know what I mean? And it's just so well shot, and it's beautiful. Anyways, great film. I loved it. And again, same thing. I was on Twitter. I saw a guy commenting on the Batman being like, you know how some movies are like a slow burn and they build? This is not that. This movie was boring. I had to turn it off after the first half hour. I was like, wow.
Oh. But I mean, it's a 3-hour movie. You got to give it a little bit of time, more than 30 minutes.
Yeah. It's, I mean, but again, that's the thing. What I've realized, is no matter how amazing I think anything is, and that's the same with everybody, no matter how amazing you think something is, there are people who are going to see it and just think it sucks, right? And flipping it around, there are things that you think are terrible. That's somebody's favorite thing.
Like
right?
Aladdin.
Like Aladdin. The new Aladdin. Yeah. Yeah. Or the old one, I'm sure there are people who like the new Aladdin more than the old one.
No, I mean, like, I loved the new Aladdin, and you're like, meh.
Yeah, it was just fine. Yeah, exactly.
How rude.
So I'll say this, Regine. I recommend The Batman. I don't know but will you like it? I mean, I don't know. It depends on your taste. I like it, but I've realized now that only holds meaning for me. Yeah.
No, that's fair. I mean, will I be able to sit through a 3-hour movie? I don't know.
Actually, I will say this. One, it didn't feel like 3 hours for me. I liked it. But if I had to give one criticism of the movie, is that the ending did feel a little too long. Like, it felt like the movie had ended, and then suddenly just sort of kept going. And then it almost has like... that. And it... Yeah, like, I feel like they could have trimmed like 10 minutes out of the movie, and it would have been a little better. Like, I get it, they wanted to tie a bow on all certain things, but like, I thought the movie had ended, and then it went again, like there was another climax, and then there was almost so it was just a little bit confused at the end. I will say that it didn't ruin the movie for me. It just didn't hit quite as hard as
prolonged it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
so
fair.
Thomas is watching Cars 3 Florida 500. Have you seen the Cars movies, Regine?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if I've seen the third one. I think I definitely have. One of my younger brothers, I think both of them actually, loved Cars when they first came out. So it was Lightning McQueen everywhere. And then obviously when you watch one, you got to watch the other. And then the third one comes out, you're like, okay, I just need to see it all come together. And that's me. I watch all three. I watch a lot of Disney Pixar movies. So ask me that, not Batman.
Yeah, I think I've only seen Cars 1. Is Cars 1 the one where he's driving along and then he like ruins the road to the small town? Like he breaks the road, right? And then so nobody can come there, and it's a big problem for him. And then he has to fix it. Is that Cars 1? I remember he's like driving really fast somewhere, and then he like spins out of control and like tears up the street, so it blocks access to this small town.
I want to say yes, but yeah, I could be wrong.
I think it was a long time ago that I saw it, but anyway, Thomas is like, I'll send you clips from Cars 2 and 3. I'm like, okay. Just like before yeah.
Go ahead. No,
I was just say like before he sent me clips to the lion.
Oh yeah, the lion roar or whatever.
Lion roar. What was the movie? What was that show called? Anyways, you know what I'm talking about. Where he has the roar of like the ancients, and he can lift mountains with his roar, which is quite a superpower, Thomas. Okay, let's move on. So we've talked about the Batman. Highly recommend. Loved it. Will you love it? If you have good taste.
Stay tuned. Oh, wow. Okay.
But we'll see. Next thing I want to talk about, and I think we're both eager to talk about this one, Regine. Last night I finished the reunion for Love is Blind Season 2.
Oh my God. You know what? You finally just finished it. It has been a minute since I watched it. So I'm trying to recap all my thoughts on Season 2. But I got you. Let's go.
Okay.
Start.
Who is your favorite couple?
Oh, my favorite couple. I don't know that I had a favorite couple. Like, I remember the first season, I was rooting for a lot of them. But this one, I was just like, there's so many red flags. Why aren't you seeing it? And then there was like the other couple. It's like same thing. I was like, oh, are you? I think because like we now know how the process of Love is Blind goes. I was watching each couple. I'm not gonna name names just in case people haven't watched it yet and are planning to. But I'm just sitting here like, girl, you have so many red flags. How is this man not seeing it? Or he's got so many red flags. Why are you not seeing it? And there's like the twists and turns, and I was just like, huh? You watched it, so now do you understand why I was so invested?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I do find myself getting invested in these shows in a way. Like I didn't see every episode, and I saw sometimes like I watched the beginning. I watched the first few. My girlfriend watched it all, and I was watching with her. But then there were times where I would step away, or I'd be watching, like I'd be on my computer and hearing it, and then, but I got the general gist of what's going on, and then we watched the whole reunion. My favorite couple was Jarrett and Ayanna.
They were cute. I feel bad though because she kept feeling like, she wasn't his first choice. And I felt bad for that, but to see where they are now, like I follow them on social media, and I don't follow. I search them up every now and then just to see how life is. But to see how they are now, it's nice to see that he did make the right choice. Mal and Sal, ooh.
Yeah, I mean
that was interesting.
Well, I mean, the thing with the, in fact, we should talk about a little bit because we talked about Love is Blind Season 1 briefly a long time ago, and I think you asked me like, oh, Scott, would you go on a show like that, right? And I said no, and the reason I wouldn't is because I didn't. In fact, I think I said this exactly word for word, pretty much. It was that I didn't want the idea that like I would choose somebody in the pods, and then the door would open, and I don't like what they look like. I didn't want to have to deal with that,
Okay, that's rude.
Well, but it's like, I'll put it bluntly, I don't believe love is blind. Love is not blind, right? And I think even the show actually knows that too. Like when you even think about season 1 even more so than season 2, but season 2 a little bit as well. Season 1 specifically, there was nobody in the cast that wasn't conventionally attractive.
You have to watch Love is Blind Japan then.
Okay, yeah, maybe I will. I can do that. But point is, from what I've seen, say season 1, right? It's like they didn't cast anybody who wouldn't be considered attractive to most people. And so it's like these people meet these pods in the pods and they don't know. And then when they see each other, there's always this like their eyes shoot open when they see each other because and there's always this relief. Oh, yeah.
Unless it's like Shayna and Jessica.
Well, exactly. Well, that's the thing. So in season 2 now, you know, I think what we were seeing is like, say with Mal and Sal, is that when the door opened, Mal she just wasn't into what she saw.
Yeah.
And I think that also brings us to like the biggest person there is Shake. I mean, Shake was pretty. What did you think of the reunion?
Okay, first off, with Shake, I had so much hope for this man. I really did. Like when he was in the pods and like how I think I had mentioned it on the show to see them like what I had thought was they're mentally just like clicked and they're like, oh, there's a shift in my brain. But no, it was a temporary shift in his brain. And to see it play out, like I feel so bad for Deepti. Like she deserves so much more. And he is just, he deserves a little.
Well, so here's the thing, is that so what I just said earlier about myself, how I wouldn't want to go on the show because I would be scared that would happen, right? And I think, I mean, that to me looks like exactly what happened to him, is that he connected with this girl in the pods, and then the doors opened. Now the funny thing is, when the doors first opened, he looked like he was genuinely happy and attracted to her. Like but I don't know if I've gone back and forth in my head of what happened there. If it's like the door opened and maybe he saw her from further away, and then as he got closer, and then
that's so mean, but she's so pretty.
Yeah, but the point is, you know, people find different people attractive. Like, you know, I mean,
Fair.
So, but let's just say he didn't. You know, the same way Mal didn't find Sal attractive, right? He didn't find her attractive, and then I think he found himself in this position where it's like, okay, I've now said I want to marry this person that I no longer want to marry, and then I think he was trying to find his way out of it.
I don't know. I don't like how he took it. Like just who he was as a person. The fact that Nick Lachey and Vanessa both got very heated towards him, I was like, yes, put him in his place.
Well, that was the crazy thing about the reunion, is that I've never seen like one of those shows start like that before. Like I've seen some, like, I don't know, The Bachelor or Bachelorette. I've seen some of those, or even last season's reunion, right? But one thing that was so weird that I noticed right off the bat with this one is like the atmosphere is super tense.
Yeah.
Even right off the top of the show, like it almost feels like they were all having a screaming argument at each other, like a minute before they started recording, and they're like, "Okay, everybody, stop! We're filming," because it's already ramped up. Like every time Shake says anything, everyone was already mad at him. Like he would say just anything, and everyone would be like, "Oh."
Well, maybe you're right. Maybe, you know, he pissed them off, or they all watched what he did and how he was acting, and maybe, you know, I don't know. Like I was following some of the girls on Instagram, and they all had a weekend of just the girls, and then I guess more tense drama showed up from that. I don't know, but you're right. Like the minute you watch it, you could tell that they were all kind of like told to shut up before filming.
Yeah, well, because usually on those shows, they don't have everybody there from the beginning. Like you usually see the hosts are there, and they're like, "All right, guys, now we're gonna meet our first people. You know what I mean?" But because they're all there, you just feel like they must have all been screaming at Shake, and then they all just started.
Or Shake was screaming at all of them, and then
oh yeah. I mean, yeah.
like,
sure.
Thank God.
It was definitely both way. I mean, the thing with Shake for me is like, and actually other people on the show even said it, right? Even Deepti said it. It was that the problem with him is not that he didn't find her attractive, right? Or that he has, like, even the fact that he, you know, he's willing to say, you know, yeah, looks are very important to me. That's not the issue, really. The issue is how he, like, the words he uses, like how he goes about it. For that part, I can't. Like you remember in the pods like, okay, so in his mind, it's very important what looks, specifically weight.
Yeah.
But so he would say stuff like, I like to buy girls' clothes. What's your size? Right? And then he would say, oh, do you like to sit on a man's shoulders at a music festival? Would I have
Would I be able to
hard
lift
time?
you?
Yeah.
Oh
But
my God.
But the thing about that is, like, did he think that would work? Like, that's my biggest issue with him, is it's that he must be somebody who's got, like, he must think he's really, really smart. Because, like, does he genuinely think that by us saying that, oh, I like, would you like to sit on my shoulders? Like, does he think that the girl will just be like, I like music festivals. Oh yeah, I love to. And she won't be able to, like, see that he's just trying to figure out her size. So it says to me that there's something about, one, how he sees his own intelligence and how he sees the intelligence of other people. Like, does he think he must, like, did he think this was a mastermind move that, like, nobody could see what he was doing?
I mean, he's a vet, right? So he should be somewhat smart, but I feel like he's book smart, just not people smart. And that just, like, he's on the wrong show. Like everyone said, you're on the wrong show. Go on a different show. Like,
yeah. I mean, it was weird because, I mean, he was entertaining. And it's funny because how you said it earlier, how you had hope for him and stuff, because it's interesting. So the show starts and he's, like, asking those questions. And I'm like, okay, well, this guy's going to, crash out of here in like 5 minutes.
mm-hmm.
And then almost instantly, and again, you don't know how it's edited, right? But then suddenly they cut to, like, suddenly he's, like, looking inside and saying, maybe I've realized I've had this problem with myself, and now I'm starting to understand that I'm connecting with this, and
Mm-hmm.
but looking back now, I think that was just an act.
Oh,
Like,
for sure.
I think what happened was he realized from his experiences in the pods that it wasn't working.
Mm-hmm.
And so, in fact, he even says in the reunion, he was like, honestly, guys, don't you think, like, the desire to stay on the show played into it a little bit? So he went, oh, wait a minute. If I don't propose to somebody, I don't get to go to Mexico. Okay, I guess I better propose to somebody. So I think what would happen is he just sort of put on an act the whole time. And then he kept doing what he had to do because he wanted to stay on the show as long as possible. And then, and then the weird part when he kept talking to all the guys, like here's the thing, the straightforward thing. Yeah, like the straightforward thing to do, right? The right thing to do, if you're not attracted to somebody. And again, if you're not attracted to somebody, I think it's fine. But the right thing to do would have been to sit her down and say, I know we connected in the pods, but I'm really sorry. I don't see this going forward.
Like what Shayna did.
Sure. I mean, Shayna just left. Like, I think Shayna, it would have been nice if she had, like, said something. Like, it's like she's like, I'll see you in the morning. And then she just, like, grabbed her suitcases and, like, left. But at least that was more honest than, you're right, going through the whole thing. But it's weird with Shake. It was almost like he was, because he would, like, pull other people aside and be like, yeah, man, I don't know. Like, we connected, but it's like,
Sears and
it's like I'm with my aunt. It's like I'm with my, and it's like, but it for me, it felt like he was trying to plant the seeds that it's like he was trying to find a way out, but he couldn't just forwardly say it. He had to, like, make sure everybody knew that this is what he was feeling, so that when he left, he wouldn't, like, look so bad. But I think, again, he couldn't see in his mind that, no, this is making you look worse, So,
yeah. And it's funny because it kind of backfired on him, because he's going to all these guys, be like, oh, I don't know how to feel about her. I don't know how to feel about her. But these guys are so invested in their women that they're like, no, just hold it out. You never know. Try something different. Do this. And I'm just there like, oh my God, just go away.
Yeah. Well, because I think they thought he was being honest, right?
Yeah.
And he wasn't. and like, and again, I don't think he took he said it even in the thing. He didn't really take the whole process very seriously. Like,
Mhm.
I think, and it's interesting because now apparently he's planning to start a podcast, and like he's building a fan base now of like these types of people who are like, oh yeah, he tells it like it is, and he tells the truth, and he's like, so he's trying to be one of those sort of
Mhm.
alpha male type guys, and so good for him, I guess. But I think for me, I think it looks like he went on the show as a way of boosting
Clout?
his fame. Yeah, I think that's all it was. And so,
Poor Deepti. That's all I gotta say.
yeah, I mean, she'll be fine. Apparently, she's dating. Remember, there was a guy on the show who's like, "I wish I had proposed to Deepti."
Mhm.
Apparently, they're dating now.
Nice.
So there you go. But
I have to follow all their social medias and see what's going on.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Shayna's ex, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And there's like all these rumors that Mal and Natalie are together. It's interesting. I mean, they all did date in the pod, so whatever.
Oh, really? Mal and Natalie, really? Oh,
Oh.
interesting. Because at the
Mal, Sal. my
oh,
God.
Sal, of course. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, because
Oh,
that's why
okay.
at the end of the reunion, it looks like they were kind of hinting that Natalie and Shane might.
No, so from what I understand is they did try to get back together and it just didn't work out.
Yeah. What'd
I'm
you think of
curious.
Shane?
Ooh. Oh, he's such a frat boy. He's such a bro. I mean, there was moments where I was like, oh yeah, he's a good guy. And then there were moments where I was like,
Yeah, he seemed like a lot. The thing is, though, I warmed up to him actually, in that I realized that he seemed very, at the end of it, pretty like very straightforward and honest with how he feels about things. I just think, I'm not sure, there's something about him where he's almost the type of person that, I don't know if he's insecure or like he just needs to be told often that, like, you like him and that you're happy,
Yeah.
Yeah, and if he doesn't get that, like, that's why it's weird in that Natalie would make a joke like, oh yeah, you're ugly or something, but she was clearly joking, but he almost, because that's what she said, he was offended by it. So there was
Or
something.
maybe he just doesn't understand sarcasm. There's some people like that.
Yeah, so maybe he's one of those. So that's why it was almost, I don't know, there's something almost, I don't know, childlike about him, which I found
Oh, 100%.
endearing actually.
But like, you saw how angry he got when he was the only one that missed the baseball. Did you watch that?
Oh, I missed that one.
So it was their bachelor party, and they were at like the Dodgers, or I don't know. They were at some stadium, and they were all getting pitched to, and they were hitting the bat. I don't know what it's called. And he was one of the only people that kept missing, and he lost it. Like, he was angry, and I'm like, if I was Natalie and saw that, I'd run away. It's just a baseball, like, dude.
Yeah. It's it's almost felt just like, the way he expresses himself and the way things affect him, they're just very, very direct. It's like something sad happens, he's very sad. Something great happens, he's very happy. And it's, I don't know, there's something, it's a little bit strange, but
Did you watch the weddings?
No. My girlfriend gave me the rundown about who said yes and who said no, though. But
he was like, there's some things on TikTok where it's like he's probably like on coke or something, or like he needs, I don't know. He was like,
he's very, his facial expressions are very
no, you need
over
to
the top.
actually watch him waiting for Natalie at the aisle. Like, he was very like not 100% there.
Interesting. All right. Well, maybe I'll have to go back and watch some of it, because I did miss a little bit of context there. But I did notice, like, one of the first things I noticed about him, even in the first like episode, is his facial expressions are a lot. His eyes tend to open very wide, and it's just it's a lot. It's a lot. I got used to it, but it's a lot. We should do the ads, Regine. We should
Oh
do
my
the ads.
gosh, yes.
and then well, I mean, we've almost finished with Love Is Blind, but we'll put a bow on it.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, today's episode of The Sit Down is brought to you by the following fantastic advertisers. The Toronto real estate market is growing and changing every day. In these challenging times, you need someone in your corner. Jeanette McKenzie, Realtor at Forest Hill Signature, is committed to looking out for you. She'll go the extra mile to ensure you have all the information you need to make a decision you can feel confident about. Purchasing a home is one of the biggest financial investments you'll make in life. Don't leave it to chance. Call Jeanette McKenzie at Forest Hill Signature. She's my realtor, and she could be yours. Call today at 416-523-0408 or email at jmckenziehomes@gmail.com. Jewelry forever. Conveniently located at CF Markville Shopping Center on 5000 Highway 7 East Markham. They do custom-made jewelry, repairs, and change watch batteries, all done on site. Jerry at Jewelry Forever is an absolute artist. If you have a vision for something beautiful and original that you would like made, he is the man to create it for you, and we have an amazing deal worked out with him, don't we, Regine?
Yes, we do. If you go into the store and let him know that Scott and Regine sent you, you'll get 15% off your entire purchase.
That's right, 15% off, 15%. Mention the show. Tell them Scott and Regine sent you. Get a great deal. And head on
Just in
over
time for Mother's Day.
Perfect. Just in time for Mother's Day, people.
And
Find
my
out more.
birthday.
Yeah, exactly. So hit it up. Get something for Regine. Get something for Mother's Day, all in one trip. Jewelryforever.ca, and also follow them on TikTok, because he posts a lot of cool things on TikTok about jewelry repairs that he does or custom pieces that he makes. It's just yeah.
They're so like satisfying to watch. Just to see him start from beginning to end. I'm like, ooh, that's interesting.
It's pretty amazing. Check them out, jewelryforever.ca. If you would like to advertise on the show, it's very easy, right, Regine?
Very easy. All you guys have to do is email us at radioshowad, that's radioshowad@gmail.com.
That's right. We do the show live every week, people, and we do the ads live every week. What does that mean? It means that you can personalize them week to week. Do you have an event? Do you have a sale? Something happening at a particular time in a particular place? You let us know. We let your potential client base know in real time. It's a great new way to build a brand new relationship with a brand new audience. Get in touch. Radio Show Ad, radioshowad@gmail.com. And we're back. Final thoughts on Love Is Blind season 3 or 2. Do you have any?
Good luck to all of them who are still finding love. Good luck if you're watching it. You might need some wine or two, whatever you're drinking. And at the end, they mention a show called, what was it? I asked you earlier.
Ultimatum. The Ultimatum?
Yeah.
There's a little ad for it, in fact.
It's intriguing. But
yeah, it's okay. We watched.
I wouldn't.
We watched some of it.
I did too, and I was just like, I don't know. If you have to put someone through an ultimatum, do you really need to be with that person?
I mean, good question. Well, I mean, that's what the ultimatum tries to answer.
Tune in.
Yeah.
We're not sponsored.
No, but it was okay. It was fine. But I do think Love Is Blind is a better experiment, shall we say. My final thoughts, I don't know. I mean, I think I focus mainly on Shake. One thing that kind of bothers me about him is just he's got this idea that like what he's doing is like, oh, I tell the truth, I keep it 100, and you are telling the truth, yes, but it's that there are people who think that just because he's telling the truth, like there isn't a way to say it where you don't seem like a dick, you know what I mean? And like he could have very easily said exactly what he was trying to say and said it in a way that wasn't so douchey. And I think, I don't know, someone like him, he just feels like he thinks he's oh yeah, I'm telling it like it is, but if you can't tell it like it is without having people actually understand what you're saying, then you're not.
Are you really saying how it is?
Well, but you're also like, you're just not a very good communicator. You know what I mean? So, like, again, I don't even really disagree fundamentally with some of the things he was saying. I don't think that love is blind. Again, I believe that even the creators of the show, although you said it's different in the Japan one, maybe I'll have to watch it. But like this show, they generally like they cast people, all of them, who are conventionally attractive people. You know, they didn't cast any like, I don't even want to go into it, but they didn't cast anybody who you would say, you know,
It's not TV ready.
yes. Right. So I think even the creators of the show understand that love isn't blind. It's a cool concept, I guess, but I still think the way Shake went about it, it just says something about his, I don't know, his character, or the way his mind seems to work. I don't even know what to say about him or to him. Like if I talk to him about it,
I wouldn't even talk to him. I'd be like, bye. Stay
yeah,
away.
but it just feels like, because I think the thing that bothered me the most was just how he was so confident that he was, I don't know, correct, and that he was like, oh yeah, like I'm just, like he, in his mind, he's the brave one who's like not afraid to say what's on his mind. And that's true, but you can say what's on your mind. I don't know. I guess it's just like, I think if he was smarter, he could have said what he wanted to say and not come across. Yeah, like it just shows that he's got, again, like I said, like when he was in the pods and he was asking the girls these questions as if he was being sneaky. And like he was so obviously not. Like I almost would want to ask him, like, did you really think that was working? Because if you did, it shows that you're like really emotionally, I don't know, stunted. Like you clearly are not able to see what other people see. Like you must think that your brain is so huge and everybody around you is just like, oh yeah, I can just say this and I'm playing 4D chess. You know what I mean? Like you're not.
Or maybe that's just how he is, like in general. Like maybe he just wasn't ever given the opportunity to, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was going with this, but you know what I mean? Like,
well,
just the way that he is with even his parents, right? Like how did you watch that episode?
Yeah, and the mom was like, I'm more on her side than your side. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, I feel like maybe it's just his upbringing too. Like maybe his parents just never told him right from wrong and never really taught him how to communicate and respect women.
Yeah, I guess. And I guess I was actually, the other thing I was thinking about as well was just like, what type of person was he looking for? Like, if he said that to a girl, like, and I'm imagining maybe if there are women out there, for example, who, and men too, but I guess he's speaking with women who are, very, very, they work out all the time and they're very, very serious about their looks and how they look and like, and all this stuff, right? And I can imagine, was he looking for the type of girl where if he had been like, hey, if I put you on my shoulders at a music festival, would I be able to lift you? And like, there might be a girl out there who'll be like, oh yeah, you'd easily be able to lift me. Oh yeah, I only, and so I guess he's looking for somebody like that who, it's just, again, like the way all of those girls reacted. Like, well, the funniest one was Ayana when he was like, I like to buy clothes for girls. What size are you? And like, Ayana is a pretty small girl.
She's
right?
tiny, yeah.
She could have easily answered, yes, you could lift me at a music festival. Yes, okay, right. But again, like if you're speaking to an actual human being, like she heard what he's saying, like, what the heck who is this guy? Like, I don't know what type of person would hear that question and not think,
what the hell?
So I don't know. I don't know. It just makes me like, I think I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to say right now. What bothers me about it? It's
He
not what
makes
he
me
was saying.
cringe.
Yeah, it was the cringe, but it was just like, I don't know, because he's got this like self-important way about him that like he thinks he's just, he's got
The
it figured
shiz.
out. But I don't
Yeah.
think you do have it figured out. I just think you're not as smart as you think you are. It's
But
kind of,
did you see on social media? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, it's fine.
There was a story after the reunion where he was attempting to lift Shayna on his shoulders, and he struggled to stand up. And Shayna's not that big. Yeah, she's
Mhm.
not that small. Like, she's an average sized lady, and he even struggled. So he's all talk, but he can't even lift
Well, I mean,
Lizzie on his shoulders.
I think that's kind of another thing of it as well, is that like if you are going to be somebody who's very passionate about looks, and you think it's very important that a woman like maintains her looks, or like is in the gym all, like, I feel like you should be doing that too,
Mhm.
right? I mean, I just feel like otherwise it's kind of hypocritical,
100%. Yeah.
So like if you're, I don't know, yeah, anyway, so that doesn't surprise me, because I think one of the things he lacks, and I'm being really mean about this guy, I realize now, but
It's fine.
it just feels like he's kind of lacking a lot of self-awareness,
Hmm.
and he doesn't seem to be able to see how he's being perceived, right? Like, I don't know if he's
Well,
missing
no, he did see it. He watched the season and he was in self-denial. He's like, no, no, no.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I mean, maybe what it comes down to is that he went on the show because he wanted to try to increase his profile and maybe get some free vacations. And he realized that if he didn't pick a girl, he wouldn't get the vacation. So he picked a girl. And I think if he had found girls on there that he found really attractive, he would have been like, bonus, great. But because he didn't, he just said what he had to so that he could be on the show for longer, so that he can have the vacations and stuff. So, and we'll see. I mean, the thing is, he's got the fame now, so he is going to be able to convert that into something. We'll see. Again, I don't know, but I don't know. I was just.
Oh, and when he called Vanessa his type, and she's like, what?
Yeah, I mean, again, but that doesn't surprise me either, because I think because he's that type of guy, it's like because it's very important to him what's how people are perceived, right? Like, obviously Vanessa Lachey is like a famous person,
She's stunning, yeah.
and considered very pretty. So if he could be with a girl like that, it would mean that he
wants a trophy wife.
Yeah, I
That's
think you're
literally
right.
all he wants. He just wants a trophy wife. He doesn't care what's in her head. He just wants someone that will look pretty standing next to him. So maybe he'll look better.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah. And I will say, I mean, if that's what he wants, I mean, I think there is something, I don't know if wrong is the right word, but even though personally I do think there is, but if that's what he wants, fine, go for it. But I think it is true. It's like, why did you go on the show? But I think it's the answer is that he went on the show because he wanted to increase fame, and being on TV is a way to do it.
Then
regardless.
go on the circle. Like,
yeah,
there are other,
well, he probably
shows
just
for you to be on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, I also feel like it's all of these shows, especially, it even feels more so with The Ultimatum. Like, you got this feeling that like most of the people who are on these shows, they're all just like struggling actors who are looking for a job, right? So,
Scott, why aren't you on it? I'm just kidding.
well, the thing is, those types of shows, like
kidding.
those types of castings do come up. Like, I see them because they cast for reality TV, right?
Oh
But
my God.
I've told my agent I don't want to be on any of those. Just because
I'm just kidding. Oh my God. That's so
yeah, but
mean.
the point is, there are, like, again, if you're just looking to get out there, right? And there is some logic to it. Like, if you can be on a show, especially if you can come out the other side of it not being hated, or maybe if you wanted to be the bad guy, that can work too. But if you can go through a show like that, get the credibility, then you can then use that to, like, there is logic. It's just it doesn't appeal to me personally, but
You know
it's
what
not
show I could?
Yeah.
No, finish your thought.
No, I was gonna say it's not a viable strategy for me.
I was gonna say a show that I could picture, like reality TV show I could picture you on, would be like Big Brother, because it's more like strategic and social. Or maybe even The Challenge. Have you watched The Challenge?
I haven't watched The Challenge, no.
It's similar to like, I don't know what it's similar to. I'm trying to think. It's just like a group of people. It's on MTV, a bunch of MTV people, and they go through different challenges, and they get harder and harder, and like they have to make it to the very end where it's like a full excursion. It's really intense.
Oh, I mean that's like what type of like physical challenges?
There's like physical, there's puzzles, I feel like you do really well. And then like they have to pick someone who has to go down to like let's call it the sand pit, because I don't remember what it's called. And then you have to fight for your life if you get chosen, or else you get eliminated.
Yeah, I think if I was to pick that type of show to go on, I would be more interested in the, shall we say, more like the yeah, like more like a game show type than this, like
a dating show.
Yeah, like I like the idea more of, like competing, like even like that. What's that one where you run through obstacle courses, Ninja Warrior or whatever? Like when I watch people doing that, I'm like, that just looks cool. Like I would like to try that, even if not on TV. It'd be cool.
You know what show I could also see you on, like your whole family on, like Family Feud.
Family Feud could be fun. Yeah.
I want to do Family Feud. That's the only reason why I say it. Go on it, and then you guys can adopt me for the episode.
Yeah, right. Yeah, perfect. You'll be like our sister. This is our sister. Yeah.
There you go.
So yeah, Love Is Blind season 2. Pretty well. I don't know if do you call this type of show good, or is it more just it's entertaining?
It's junky
I guess.
reality TV,
Junky
and
reality.
that is right up my alley.
Yeah. Okay, final thing we have to talk about. Regine. You're quite a Disney fan, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely, you are. Yeah.
Yes.
And so you probably know, at the Disney parks, right? Every now and again, when they put out merchandise, there's always a huge demand for it. So, like, I remember, did you hear about this? Like, they put out it was like a popcorn bucket of like, there's like a dragon mascot that I think is at the parks, and I can't remember his name. But anyway, they released like this bucket that has like a figure of him on top or something. And the lineups were like hours and hours long for people to get this bucket.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, so apparently that happens every time. And the annoying thing is that a lot of the people who go to buy it, they're buying it to resell it, right? Because they know it's such a, So in Disney Japan, have you ever heard of, what are they called? Where is it? Duffy and Friends. Are you familiar with Duffy and Friends? I'd never heard of it either, but apparently it's very popular in Asian markets. It's like, I don't know what it is. In fact, let's see if we can find a picture of them just so we know what we're talking about. Duffy and Friends. Let's see, what do they look like? Okay, so they look like, interesting. Here, I'll put it on the screen, Regine.
Oh my god, I don't see anything.
Hang on, that's too small. I'm looking for it. Okay, here we go. Okay, here. Duffy and Friends. So it looks like you got a bear, and a couple bears, a rabbit, a dog, a turtle,
a dog, a
cat. Okay. So apparently
cute.
Duffy, yeah, they do look pretty cute. Okay, so Duffy and Friends.
Oh, I lied. I do know Duffy. My brother has a Duffy bear. Sorry.
There you go. Yeah, so apparently they are quite popular here too.
They're a Disney bear. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, okay, there you go. Duffy. So is Duffy the bear? I guess Duffy must be the bear.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay, so there you go. So in Disney Japan, they released some new Duffy and Friends merchandise. They released new Duffy and Friends merchandise. And they, because they know that resellers are trying to buy all this stuff, they have a limit of how much you can buy, because they're trying to make it so that actual customers can buy. Because otherwise you'll have people who will go there and like, I saw images of people like walking out of Disney parks with like garbage bags full of like plushies because they just
my
bought like
God.
all of them, and then they just go to eBay and sell it for triple the price, right? Like they try to buy out all the stock. So they're
Mhm.
trying to take steps to stop that. It's like the same thing that happens with like concert tickets and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So at this place in Japan, they had a limit. There was like a certain number per person. But if you had a child, that child is a person. So you can buy more. So a couple at Tokyo Disneyland had an idea.
Oh no.
And the idea was use a fake baby to buy more merchandise. And you can see there, Regine, that's the picture of the baby right there. Can you see it?
The hell? Yeah, I can see it.
It actually kind of looks real. It kind of actually looks
That's
real.
messed up.
Yeah, it is. It was okay, there. Can we see the picture larger? Let me see. I just clicked on somebody's tweet.
That's
Potentially
so
sensitive
messed
content.
up.
Let me
And
see.
it's
Show
not
me.
even in English.
Yeah, okay, here. There we go. Here.
I don't know, man. That's a little too much for me.
Yeah. So they went and got themselves a doll of a fairly realistic looking baby. And
That's okay. Like, I don't know. I mean, we have decided to go to Disney World for our honeymoon. Should I just take a fake baby and just buy all this merch for you guys?
yeah, well,
That's
it's like
all
the do you remember when they in Toronto they had when they first introduced the HOV lanes? High
Oh,
occupancy vehicle.
yeah.
So somebody decided to drive around with a dummy in the passenger seat.
They're gonna have fake
mean-
babies in the cars.
Yeah. It was like, nice try, but didn't quite work.
That's
Yeah, let me
so
see.
weird.
Yeah, so
all
it's like
for all for merchandise?
well, anytime there's limited edition merchandise at the Disney parks, you can bet your Mickey ears that guests will go crazy for a chance to purchase it. We've seen this at Walt Disney World with guests going crazy for cups, mugs, bags as the resort continues celebrating so they're celebrating their 50th anniversary right now. I see. Okay.
Mhm.
Cups to bags, guests have been snatching up every item with the 50th anniversary on it since it started. Also, unfortunately, this means certain guests will start to hoard the merchandise in order to resell it later for a much higher cost, which we see
Yeah.
multiple times at Disneyland Paris. And so, yeah, there you go. It was Japan's All Nippon News Network shared a story recently about guests rushing to Tokyo Disney Sea more than 5 hours before the park opened so they could purchase some of the new merch.
Oh my gosh.
So
I don't know. It's so wild to think. It's like, I lost my train of thought. Keep going. Maybe I'll come back.
yeah, I mean, I guess it's the reality in that if there's a demand for something, right? People are gonna try to make money for it.
Mhm.
It's
It's
annoying.
like BTS. It's like the BTS McDonald's meals. When BTS is a Korean boy band, for those who don't know. And when they did the McDonald's collaboration, like the amount of people all over the world who were lined up just for chicken nuggets and sauce, or
Yeah.
like the Justin Bieber Timbits. It's like, what?
Yep. And I understand it. I mean, I will say, like when the Batman, do you remember? I think we talked about it on the show at the time the Batman Damned comic came out. It was like the controversial one where it was like an adult, more themed comic, and the big thing was that in it you were going to see Bruce Wayne's full frontal.
Okay.
Yeah. So I went and I actually went and bought two. I bought 2 copies.
Oh, you wanted to see
And I wanted to see it twice, Regine. I wanted to see it twice. But no, I bought it because I thought in my mind, I'm like, this is going to be worth a lot of money. And I ended up spending a lot of money on it because the shop I was buying from was actually marking up the price. What they were doing is they had say they had 10 of them on the rack. Every one, so like the front one was like $10. The one behind it was priced at $15. The one behind it was priced at $20. So every time it's sold, so you could only buy one at a time.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I ended up paying like, I think $80 for the comic. But I'm actually glad I bought it because the controversy was too much for DC to handle. They ended up actually canceling the comic and editing it out. So now, like, if
Oh
you have
wow.
a copy of that comic, what they basically did was like, because you could only see it like kind of the outline of it or whatever. And what they did was they just
Why are
blackened
you
it out.
showing us the
Just
outline?
like, you know. But anyway, so it was kind of cool. It was right at the time when I was starting to get into comics, and I kind of liked the idea of like having a rare comic. So it was cool. But anyway, I bought that second one with the thought of, oh, I could sell this one day for like hundreds of dollars or something. I haven't, and I probably won't, because I kind of like having it, because they're not the same. I have one of the main cover, one of the variant cover. So I'd be getting rid of one of the, like, it's not like I have two of the same. Point is, I understand the idea of, oh, if I can get my hands on something that's rare and people might want to buy it, I get it. But I think it's one thing to have, your average person do that, and somebody else to,
Make a fake baby.
yeah, make a whole industry out of it. I mean, and I know that the ticket sales were the big problem because it's digital now, where you'll have like these programs that instantly, like faster than a human being can type in their credit card information, this program will go in and just buy every ticket, right? And then instantly throw it on a reseller site. So like, oh, I want to go watch my favorite band. Okay, they're all gone. I can buy it for double, triple the price now.
Yeah. It's like PS5s, right? Like there's so many limited PlayStation 5s out there that you can get them, but from a reseller, and they'd be like 10 times what you would pay for. Like, I heard through a grapevine that they are now calling, or they're now like actually going through to make sure that you're not reselling them. Like there was a house or a household where there's like 130 PS5s going to be shipped to that one house. So they canceled the order. But like, first off, who has all that money for 130 PS5s? And second, what the hell?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's an investment. Like, I mean, I would imagine, especially if those people do that all the time, they might have the money.
True.
Or it's the kind of thing where they'll just like
pre-order them.
Or they'll go into like debt, right? Like they'll take out a loan or something to get all the PS5s, and then they can resell them, right? So again, what it is. It's an industry of its own, right? And that kind of sucks. Like I don't know what you do about it. I mean, I guess what you do is what they do. They do their best to mitigate it or do something about it so that it's lessened. I remember the concert tickets particularly annoyed me because it's digital sales. It's not even like if I go to a ticket counter and I want to buy all the tickets. I mean, I guess there's not really any reason why I shouldn't. Like if there are 10 tickets left and I have 10 friends and I want to buy the 10 tickets, that's good, And I guess, but I don't know, there's something about it, the spirit of it, especially with the digital sales, because it can be done instantly. Whereas like you literally do not have any way of purchasing these tickets because there's a bot that's going to buy them from automatically, So I don't know. It's just frustrating. The fake baby story is funny. Like it is funny.
It's so dumb. It's like what? Do they, in parenting class, those babies that cry, did they take those and be like, "This is my baby"?
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not sure. Like, is this baby?
Is it a doll? Like
it. I don't know if it's one of the ones that moves. It kind of just looks like a doll, right? Like those kind of. Oops. I went to, oops. Lonnie Bree's not here. Where am I? Screen. There we go. Yeah, it looks like one of those dolls that kind of looks pretty real.
And they cover the eyes too.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't even tell.
Well, that's an interesting thing. I'm curious how they got caught. Like, how did they get caught?
Maybe someone's like, "Oh, this is for your baby," and then they realize, "Oh, it's a doll."
Yeah, let me see. Are there any?
Or maybe someone was carrying it and then dropped the baby and the head popped off.
Yeah. Yeah, they were like using the doll as like storage for like some of the merchandise. Yeah. It's like, okay, you hold this, and they like opened up its like torso, and there's like a compartment. Let me see. One shopper was accused of allegedly using a baby doll to buy extra items at checkout. The cast member ultimately determined that the cunning guest was running a resale site, selling the goods for as much as $3.7. But how? You can see exactly how this works in a tweet. Okay, but the tweet is not in While Disney usually has a policy on how many guest items are allowed to buy, guests have ways around this, as we see above. Guests will bring their kids, as every guest can make a purchase, even from the same party. And as long as the size or SKU is different, the product counts as a new one, okay? Okay. All right, so it doesn't really say, unless there's other articles. So, but yeah, I mean, I guess it's just that I've never taken that close a look at somebody's baby, you know? Did they suspect it was gonna happen? That's not a real baby.
Or maybe because you know how there's a lineup and people obviously want to buy a bunch, and then maybe someone ratted them out. Like, that's not a real baby.
Yeah, maybe. Because, like, just imagine, like, can you see yourself? I gotta check that baby. Like, what if you're wrong? What if you, like, imagine reaching into some parent's stroller to, like, pull the blanket or hood off their baby. Like, it just seems. Yeah. Oh, sorry. It's like tugging on Santa's beard, and it's a real beard.
Oh my god, that's intense. I don't know. That's an interesting one. Okay, so when I go to Disney World, if there are any lineups, I will check out all the babies just for you, Scott. I'll be like, that's a doll, that's a doll, that's a doll.
Yeah. Investigate. Get to the bottom of it. Start yanking off little hats.
Pinch the baby. They're not crying.
Yeah. Yep.
That's so mean.
So I guess the moral of the story is you got to get a more realistic looking baby. You got to get one of those ones that moves. You got to, you know what it is? It's not a doll. It's got to be the robotic baby.
Oh God, those are scary.
I've seen that. They make those for film productions. I've seen them. There are scenes where, what movie that I saw where they used it? There was one movie, and I remember the scene was like that they rescued the baby that was going to be killed or something. It was like from like olden times. And there's a scene where they're like washing off the baby and the baby's all crying and stuff. And I think afterwards I found out that was a robot. And the robot was made like...
Well, it's like Baby Yoda is a robot.
Baby Yoda is a robot. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Oh my God, you could just bring your Baby Yoda and be like, no, it's real. It's Baby Yoda.
This is my... Yeah.
This is my baby.
My baby. That's how he was born. He looks like that. Are you making fun of my... Hey.
Are you discriminating my baby because he's green?
Yeah. Love is blind. Don't judge my child. Yeah. Anyway.
There you have it.
Crazy stuff. But good chats today. Mm-hmm. And we hit everything in the title. Love is Blind, Fake Babies, and the Batman. We did it, Regine. All right. Regine, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on my YouTube channel. Link is in the description. Make sure you subscribe. We go live every other week for the pageant sit down. Potentially coming soon. We may be doing weekly again for the month of May, as we are taking a break for the summer. So make sure you subscribe. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at It's Regine Alaina. Or if you'd like to follow my journey to Galaxy Internationals, which is 99 days away, you guys can follow me at Mrs. Galaxy Southern Canada 2022. Scott, where can people find you?
You can find me right here where you're watching this very video, youtube.com/Scott Dion Brown. And yeah, make sure you subscribe. I do lots of gaming Monday to Friday. We have the sit down every Sunday. And we got lots of music and stuff. Check out my latest, for example, We Don't Talk About Bruno, the a cappella version. A lot of you guys have already left a like and comment on that video, but if you haven't yet, please do check it out. It's the featured video on my channel right now, youtube.com/Scott Dion Brown. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Scott Dion Brown, but YouTube is the best place. And I have a new song coming. I know we were talking about it last week. I did a remix of it on Friday, and I listened to it, and I'm like 99% happy with it, but I heard one word that I think I want to re-sing. I just want to re-sing one word. Yeah. So I'm what it is I'm being very, very cautious with it. I don't want to put it out until it'll annoy me if it's like, a month or two down the line, I should have changed that, or that should, you know what I mean? So I'm really trying to make sure. And I don't know if it's just because I haven't released a song in a long time, and I just kind of I'm
The
taking my time with
nerves.
it. Yeah, nerves, and also just being a perfectionist about it a little bit. So, but it's coming. It's coming. So,
Is it? Can
yeah.
you give us like some teasers? Like, what kind of music genre does this fall under?
This is a soft acoustic guitar
Ooh,
pop song, basically. Just a little
my
love song.
type of music.
Yeah, it's a nice little love song. It's it started just with me playing guitar, but I ended up adding some extra layers. I added some synthesizers, some bass, some electric piano.
Ooh, were you inspired by Love Is Blind?
I was. I wrote it about Shake.
Knew it. All right, stay tuned,
Yeah,
everyone.
I dedicated to Shake from Love Is Blind. That's right. And so watch for it. I very likely it'll come out this week, unless I hear something again. But I it's very close now. Like I listened to the mix yesterday as I was driving around, and I was like, I don't hear anything wrong,
Ooh.
except for that one part I want to re-sing, like just one line that I'm like, I think I can hit that better. So we'll see. I'm being very clinical.
That's fine.
with it.
Just like your films, you just got to do what you got to do.
Exactly. All right, Raptors tomorrow, everybody. Regine, they're gonna get the win.
Yes, because it's my birthday week, so they have to.
There you go. Raptors, you heard it here. It's Regine's birthday week. Get it
No
together.
pressure.
All right, people. I will see you all next time, and we will see you all next week.
Bye.